Snap more than the ball? We've got specialists for that. Jump shot, leave your knee shot? We've got specialists for that. Face down after that face off? We've got specialists for that. Orlin and Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Jericho High School is the scene for the Nassau Class A semifinal number 2. We already have a Lawrence team that's booked their spot. Will it be Floral Park or North Shore joining them in the county final? That answer comes in about 90 minutes or so. This Nassau Class A semifinal brought to you by Orlin and Cohen Orthopedic Group. So thankful for their support. Well, welcome inside the booth here at Jericho. Dalen Butler alongside Rob Anderson. And we turn the page now to what should also be an outstanding semifinal. You've got on one side the higher seed North Shore. They're undefeated on the year. Floral Park, a year ago, they were undefeated. They played in this same round, losing to Lawrence last year. And that was where the journey for this spot, to get back to this spot, began for the Knights.
Yes, and the Knights excited about this opportunity. Coach Akil Rodney telling us that his team is amped. He's got a little chip on his shoulder right now. He wants to right the wrong from last year, and they plan on doing that with a hard, gritty game.
Yeah, and it will be no doubt a difficult task for third-seeded Floral Park. As you see the teams there warming up or lining up across the way. Floral Park 11-3-1 on the year. As you mentioned, the number 3 seed had a tight win over Plain Edge, 3-2 over the 6th seeded Red Devils. And listen, Floral Park, they return a lot of players from last year's squad, including these two guys who will be integral to what they want to do here tonight.
Yeah, there's Ned Devine on the left, and predicting big things for him tonight, Coach Rodney. He's got 18 goals, 41 points on the season, a finisher, a playmaker, and then you've got Michael Donovan on the ball as well. Donovan, trained as a center back, played right back. He mixes it up. He can fill any gap in there. An integral player for this Floral Park Knights team.
Yeah, Devine out of that left midfield spot, but we'll see him all over the attack, looking more like a winger at times. So that's Floral Park. And North Shore, they come in, as you mentioned, undefeated. The Vikings 10-0-4 on the season, the number 2 seed. And they had a comfortable win over Bethpage, 5-1 in that one. In the game, Lino Layton had a brace. Guess who's one of our impact players here tonight for North Shore? It is Lino Layton, one of the better forwards, and Lorenzo Racine anchoring that back line.
Yeah, you said it. Lino Layton, Coach Michael Bishop said might be one of the best forwards in the entire class. He can finish, came up big versus Bethpage, and then it's Lorenzo Racine. He says probably the fastest guy on the team, and when you have somebody like that out of the center back, he can clean things up and distribute well.
Especially when you're playing with 3 center backs and a 3-5-2, right? You do need those guys to put out fires quickly, and that's exactly what Racine does. Speaking of formations, let's meet the starting 11 first for the visitors from Floral Park, and they'll operate out of a 4-5-1 formation. From left to right in the back, it's Amirati, Lally, Cherry, and Bueno. Your number 6, Kroon. Jawad is your center midfielder. Aiden Conlin, your attacking midfielder. And then you've got Devine and Donovan, as we mentioned before, and Connor McCarthy up top for Floral Park. In goal for the Knights, it's Oscar Dalton. He's been on varsity since the 10th grade, but he's had to wait patiently because you had an all-county goalkeeper in Sean Halleck in front of him. But now it's Dalton's job, and he has done yeoman's work with that job.
He certainly has, and when you're working behind a guy like Halleck, you have a fantastic athlete and goalkeeper to train you. And as Coach said, above all, he's just a great kid. He does what he's asked, and he's been performing very well so far.
So now let's meet the starters for North Shore, who are being introduced to their faithful in front of us. And as you mentioned, a 3-5-2 formation. It's Mallon, Racine, and Peterson as your three center backs. One change to their lineup, and it was a late change at that. Brian Krautner in at left wing back. There was an injury there for Francisco Hedanerna, so he's out with an ankle injury, and Krautner is in. Your D-midi is John Lawner. Griffin Pinter is your central midfielder. Lorenzo Risciuti, your attacking midfielder. Your right wing back is Owen Jensen. And up front, the duo of Henry Cardozo and Lino Layton. And in goal for North Shore, Tristan Siegel, our former field player. He was injured last year, said, "Coach, I wanna learn how to be a goalkeeper." And Michael Bishop said, "It's yours," because there was a need there. So Tristan Siegel has done a great job there. It's North Shore and Floral Park. Opening kick when we return here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Snap more than the ball? We've got specialists for that. Jump shot, leave your knee shot? We've got specialists for that. Face down after that face off? We've got specialists for that. Orlin & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
And we welcome you back here to Jericho High School. Dylan Butler, Rob Anderson, our entire Varsity Media crew here for the second of two Nassau Class A semifinals. Time now, Rob, for the keys to the game.
Yeah, we'll take a look here for Floral Park. They got to be the harder working team, and they're up against a North Shore team that works hard. Take the challenges head on, take the opportunities, means winning the 50-50s, creating challenges, and trying to get some free kicks. For North Shore, they got to be formidable in the back. They play three in the back, like you said. Focus on those set pieces. Try to take advantage and put pressure on Dalton and play their game offensively. Dig in deep and get balls on the net.
For Floral Park, your head coach, Akeem Rodney, in his 5th season. Our former All-American out of Elmont in the class of 2009. Had an unbelievable career at the University of Virginia. How about 74 goals and 52 assists in Charlottesville? That's big-time Division I soccer for Akil Rodney.
And like you said, All-American, and Akil's happy that the bathrooms are unlocked here. But the other thing about Akil Rodney is that there's this brooding intensity underneath the calm, and he has turned this team into a competitor every year since he's been here.
He has said that was his goal, to change the culture, to make this a team that perennially is a powerhouse. And to this point, Rodney has done that. On the other side, it's Michael Bishop in his 9th season at the helm for North Shore. Once upon a time played at Holy Cross when Holy Cross was one of the best teams in New York State. Played with Carlo Acquista there, and Carlo Acquista, the current head coach at Fordham University. So Bishop goes from the Whitestone area now out to the North Shore, coaching these Vikings.
And again, that undercover brooding intensity, you can see it in Coach Bishop's eyes, but another calm guy on the outside. Don't let the pacing fool you. Both of these guys, a calming presence, but an intense, vicious, competitive nature inside of both.
Our officials for today's game. In the middle there you see Steve Hansman. Your ARs are Stephen Denisi and Matt Sether. And your fourth official, the venerable Tom Cully.
Yeah, we called it the Dream Team up there. Steve Denisi and Steve Hansman both going to be representing Nassau County in the States on the boys' side of the ball. And Tom Cully will be a referee in the States for the girls' soccer.
And we are off. And right away, our first foul is given. There's a good look at Griffin Pinter. Bishop says one of our best players, he's all over the place, had an unbelievable goal in that win over Bethpage. Flicked on header and an easy save for Dalton.
And I guess we see why Lorenzo Racine is such an important player. That ball sailed about 60 yards and turned something into a scoring opportunity from deep in the defensive zone.
Dalton puts this one high in the air. It does take a bounce at midfield. And it will go to North Shore. The Vikings, they'll look to possess and push the ball up that far sideline. Goes out for a throw. Good work we saw there from Ricciuti. Junior on high energy attacking midfielder. Battle on that far sideline. I think that might have been Leighton to have a go. It took a deflection. And what do we have? It's a goal kick for Dalton.
So right now it's North Shore definitely establishing themselves offensively, getting the ball down, putting a lot of pressure on this Floral Park team, and it's what we expect from this North Shore Viking team.
Dalton's punt headed. North Shore won that initial ball and the second ball as well. Now Floral Park hoping to put it down and possess, but it will go to North Shore. Good crowd here for the second of two Nassau Class A semifinals. And initially these games scheduled to be played at Mitchell Field. The scheduling conflict changed the location, and in a lot of ways it makes it better. I think you're having a more intimate venue, right? And the crowd can be a little bit louder here.
Yeah, and like you said, Dylan, a great crowd for that first game. They came from the South Shore of Lawrence to watch their team win. Floral Park fans hoping for the same thing.
Amirati's throw-in was sent up by John Lorner. And it goes out of touch for a Floral Park throw. A look at Amarante, a captain, former starting right back a year ago. Now he switches over to the left side. Amirati could hit a ball with either feet. 50-50 challenge. One and nearly an attempt. Siegel there, as charging in on him was Devine.
Yeah, you said it. Ned Devine is going to be a guy that North Shore needs to pay a lot of attention to. He shows how much he wants it out there every single time he's out on the field.
And that's what Bishop said when he scouted Floral Park. He said the first thing that he heard from multiple coaches, look out for Devine. That's the guy to locate and be wary of.
And I got to tell you, I got a text message today from Jack and Kevin Cannon's dad, Tom, who predicted a goal for Devine. So no Cannon boys on this team, but they're still amped up and following their Knights.
Well, perhaps that goal will be a cannon by Devine as it goes out for a throw.
Look at you. That's a good one.
as was the case in the opening semifinal, neither these two teams had not played each other, so a little bit unfamiliar with each other, though, of course, both head coaches doing their job, calling their boys, watching film.
And again, I have a close relationship with Akil. He's meticulous when it comes to film. He's got notepads with every single minute he's got to get to. It's beyond anything I can imagine. I don't know how he gets anything else done.
Free kick here for Floral Park.
Free kick for
Ball backed
Floral
up 10
Park.
yards.
Number 10, Ned Devine.
And it is Devine. There's a good look at Akil Rodney. They'll play it short. Devine curls it towards the far stick. Nobody there. Now a foot race won by North Shore. Vikings wanting a foul, none given. And it's cleared up towards midfield. Lawner pushes it forward. We have a good look at Owen Jensen. Big boy, that right wing back. And the same is true of Lino Layton.
And they're mucking it up early, Dylan. They're getting the hands up, shoulders up. There's going to be a lot of pushing and shoving out there. Two teams that play just gritty soccer.
Both sent to the edge, and there is a foul called, a pullback. That against Floral Park.
And then we're probably going to get more whistles in this one than we did in the first, and that's going to be interesting to see who lines up against who. But you got to love when you have teams that can be technically savvy and so physical at the same time.
Good look there at Lorenzo Racine. He's all over the back line, over 6 feet tall, good in the air, good at his feet. He's not an easy guy to beat. And one of the things that Bishop likes about his trio of center backs is they're a little bit kind of interchangeable, but they all have the same attributes.
Yeah, they're all quick. They all can distribute well. And again, that big boot of Racine is just incredible.
Ball curled across the 18. Trying to run onto it there. We saw Owen Jensen unable to get to it, but Dalton comes away with it.
Racine, the type of guy that you'd expect to be on the football team as well with a foot like that.
Hunt up to midfield. 50-50 challenge. It'll bounce. Ball sent up the far sideline. Nice first touch. Center, and now an opportunity. Floral Park kind of materialized out of nowhere. I think that was Bueno who took that great first touch.
It definitely was, yeah.
But then the shot really didn't bother Siegel.
And so far, both goalies don't seem to be bothered at all, but both teams putting a little pressure on the keepers early, a different feeling out process than we've seen instead of possession. It comes, again, there's a different intensity here in this game.
So Racine there to take that restart. It'll go out for Floral Park.
Throwing for Floral Park.
North Shore on the season. We mentioned 10-0-4. This one will bounce, no problem for Siegel. They've outscored their opponents this year. North Shore has 39-9, so they've only conceded 9 goals through those 14 games. Speaks to how stout defensively they've been this year. And we are seeing that 3-5-2 at times that can morph and change, obviously. And Zamarati will throw the ball in. They also utilize a 4-3-3. Felt the 3-5-2, which they've utilized in the playoffs, better suited against Floral Park.
Yeah, it creates a lot more opportunity to win balls in the middle of the field. And again, 7 clean sheets for Siegel, the Vikings goalkeeper, and a big part of that is that defense.
Floral Park won that battle for the ball, and they've earned the corner. You see head coach Mike Bishop there pointing his way. Forward. First time, oh, not a shot. Blocked well. Amirati steps in front of that attempt by Jensen.
And Jensen really battling well with Amirati. Amirati, high IQ soccer player according to his coach, and that was a smart one. It's going to set up a corner kick, but it definitely thwarted a very good scoring opportunity there.
That's the first of the game, and as you mentioned, there's a lot of big boys on this North Shore team. Could suit up well as the forward, Cardozo, sends it into the mix. Chasing down that second ball. That's Layton. Layton wins that challenge. It'll go out for another corner.
1 okay, 2 you're playing with fire a little bit now. Dylan Butler.
Cardozo, skillful, technical player, was in the midfield earlier this year for his vision and his ability to settle the ball. They liked what he can bring up top as well, and that was also part of that formation change to get 2 forwards there. Good save, and it's kind of suited to be another type of a corner. Second ball. That was Lawler, by the way, or Lawner, excuse me, John Lawner to run onto that ball.
So early on, Floral Park escaping those 2 corner kick opportunities. Second one sailed long. And Dylan, these teams are just attacking the ball in the first 12 minutes.
Good ball by Dalton. Flicked on by Donovan. Ball across. Nobody there. Now it's a chase, and it will go over the end line for a goal kick for Siegel. North Shore, as we mentioned, booked their spot via a 5-1 win over 7th-seeded Bethpage. Layton, a pair of goals, Cardozo and Pinter, a goal and an assist each. Petter Nerner had a goal in that game. He's not on the field today. An ankle injury sidelines him. And Siegel made 4 saves. When we showed you the bracket, and we will again when we have an opportunity, the most lopsided results to date in these Class A playoffs.
Yeah, the only lopsided one that we saw, and winning with ease. But the impressive stat is that all different guys scoring goals as you do get a look at it. Floral Park edging out Plain Edge, a really tough battle there. North Shore over Bethpage, 5-1. And then you look at the other side, Mineola Locust Valley going into overtime at PKs. Lawrence over Friends Academy. And then Lawrence takes out Mineola to be the first one moving on to the finals to match up against one of these 2.
Second straight year for Lawrence in the county final as they chase their first ever county championship. That was a 1-0 win. Ben Perez with the header off a corner kick. Set pieces, always a larger in these playoff games. And that was the difference in that one earlier as the defending champions knocked out in a rematch of last year's county final.
Number 4, Lorenzo Racine.
And why both coaches want to limit those opportunities as much as possible. It's the playoffs now, giving up corners, set pieces, dangerous.
And Racine sends it out. Akil Rodney said of North Shore, we've not played them in the last 2 years, but he called them a good, talented team. He was impressed by the quality of the Vikings players. He liked the way the forwards combine well, the creativeness as well of Petter Nerna, who, as we mentioned, out with an ankle injury.
25 with the throw in Thomas Mallon.
Mallon throws it in for North Shore. Floral Park booked their spot here in this Final Four with a 3-2 win over Plain Edge. Devine, McCarthy, and McCarran with a goal each. Michael Donovan and Brady Kroon had an assist. Dalton made 7 saves to lead the Knights.
That pass intended for Ned Devine, a little too much on it.
Throwing for the Vikings.
And yeah, that game was a battle. So this team having a face-off against a really tough playing edge team.
And that was McCarron, number 9, who now chases down that loose ball. Ball won by Ryan Kenny, number 11. And over the bar for John Lawner.
Your opinion on this. So in a quarterfinal, sometimes you have those tough battles. You worry that you guys get worn down, but sometimes you have those easy ones. Not, I won't say easy, but more of a lopsided one, and you worry about your team taking things for granted. This team definitely does not look that way, but do you think it plays a role at this level at this time of year?
I think the only, has a nice slide tackle and goes out for a throw. I think the only, and it's ironic if you think about it, like to me it's, if you have a lopsided result, maybe you could rest some guys now, right? And they don't have to go 80 or more hard minutes. Maybe you don't have to worry about injuries. That ball sent in and cleared out by North Shore. So to me, that's the only advantage I think of that. I don't mentality-wise, I think you hit the reset button, and when you get to this stage, then you know how important it is, and you're dialed in because you know what could be next. As North Shore, they send the ball, and you can see right away they want to quickly locate their forwards, who are big and strong, and they can then combine and allow the numbers to push up. And with the ball up in the air so much, those 50-50 challenges, those second balls, they become so large in this one.
And like you said, they are really big guys out there. One of the guys that's going to have to challenge them is the center back, number 16 on Floral Park, Michael Cherry. He's a big guy, really fast, runs track, and he's got his hands full because he's got to work physical as well as that speed.
Ball headed. Now Floral Park can push their numbers forward. Good turn on the ball, but it will go to the Vikings.
Throwing for the Vikings, number 25, Thomas Mallard.
And when you mention the mentality and things of that sort in a game like this, you wonder
Number 3, Diego Bueno
if the
on the throwing for
pressure is being felt by North Shore because they're the undefeated team. And it's ironic because that's where Floral Park was a year ago, right?
That is ironic. Yeah, it's a good thing to point out. And maybe Floral Park feeling that pressure last year.
Amarati plays forward, trying to locate Devine. It will go out for a Floral Park throw. And the takeaway, Rodney, and again, he mentioned he's meticulous. He goes back, he watches the film,
6,
and he said his takeaway from that semifinal against Lawrence last year, he said not that his guys didn't want it, but he felt like Lawrence wanted it more. And that was the feeling that he had, and he told his guys, and he said if we get back to that stage, that's why we said one of the keys, being the hardest working team, he didn't want his guys to not give a maximum effort, or certainly be the one who gives the most effort on the night.
And that sounds very Akil Rodney, and he obviously that's how he was as a player. And when you show up with the pedigree of being an All-American, this guy's going to listen.
And unable, there was a double team, and ball goes out of touch. And there's a throw for James Peterson. Really athletic center back.
Number 3,
Of the
Diego.
three, the shortest of that 3 center backs. Little back heel played by Cardozo. You can see his craftiness. Chested back out to midfield, and now here come the Vikings the other way. It's Leighton. And quickly converged upon. It'll be a Vikings throw.
Talk about ironic. He says he's the shortest of the three. He doesn't look too short to me.
Yeah, no.
The other two
Yeah,
are
but look across
massive.
the way.
Yeah,
Yeah. You got a couple of trees there.
yeah. No shame in the game being the shortest in that backfield. But he plays big.
What a step and a shot. It takes a deflection. Good effort by Layton. And a third corner for North Shore.
And right there, you can see what Lino Layton can do. He can get that ball on his foot and release it quickly, and that could have been a prime scoring opportunity.
And now those trees, you move some of them up. Cardoza to take.
Number 14, Henry Cardoza.
Service to the back stick, and that header by Lawner off the mark.
So the last two by Cardoza going long, looking back post twice. And you could bet that goes into the notepad as far as the corner kicks for both squads. Cardoza shortens it up. It's going to be a little bit more of a battle out in front.
Chested and sent long. And to this point, that's a great touch by Layton, and a second one as well. Tried to set up his left peg. That one took a deflection. But so far, you can see, right, neither too interested in building out of the back. It's let's go long and have a foot race and battle for the first and second balls.
And again, you see why Coach says that Layton's one of the best in the class. A really nifty move, and then you see why on the other side they said Cherry's so fast. He got beat on that and then was immediately back in front to get in the way.
Handball called against Floral Park.
Free kick for the
So
Vikings.
Racine will take
Number
this
4,
free kick.
Lorenzo Racine.
It's it high into the air. First header won by Floral Park, and then they clear it out to midfield.
Number 25 with the throw in, Thomas Mallon.
Mallon to throw. Now a chance for the Vikings. Ball crossed, blocked out, and a throw. Substitution for both
Substitution on the
teams.
field for both teams.
So both squads are fairly senior-heavy teams, and that's always another motivation when you know that you've got your jersey on, and it could be the last time you want to run this thing as deep as you possibly can.
Good look there at James Peterson. He'll take the long throw. Scrappy player on the basketball team as well. Trying to flick it on was Cardozo. Second opportunity well wide.
They're getting some looks down there.
Unofficially, we've got 6 shots for North Shore, not one yet for Floral Park.
Goal kick by number 1, Oscar Dalton.
Dalton to midfield. Flicked on there. Second ball also won by the Knights. And it will be a throw for Floral Park.
The Knights throwing.
And Amirati was making a run on this left side. Now they do come this way. Opportunity in the box, flipped across. That shot was blocked. Second ball, cleared by the Vikings. And a long ball for Cardozo.
Just to say, you could say the reason why there's barely any shots is because of how that defense is. A couple of nice crosses so far for Floral Park, but nothing coming to fruition.
Another foot race. And Amirati was trying to just shepherd the ball out. Knocked down, though, to the grounds.
Free
And it
kick
would be
by
a
number
free kick
6,
for Floral
Sam
Park.
Amirati.
And if this game is about those 50-50s, those challenges, I mean, physically, physicality-wise, you kind of think an edge to North Shore.
Size-wise,
yes,
without a doubt, yeah.
Especially with that guy, Racine. That's a really nice ball. But then Floral Park got to every one of those next balls. Back in the mix by Peterson. Chested down, Layton serves it in. Cardozo went down. And now Floral Park. Good interception in midfield. That was Pinter. Now you can combine a little bit. Pinter on this near sideline now. Lost it. Look out. Peterson steps into the lane with Devine right there as well. And again, no nonsense defending by North Shore. Offside flag is raised as Cardozo was behind the last defender.
Dylan, you made a really good point about the physicality and those 50-50s being won by North Shore, and then you followed it up with the point that Floral Park's maybe tenacity on those 50-50s is winning that second ball. They're all over it as soon as that ball comes down. They just got to hope it's not towards the net.
Nil-nil here. Second of two Nassau Class A semifinals. Lawrence awaits the winner. And we go from semifinal to final tomorrow, the first of our 4 Nassau County finals, and what a doozy that one should be. Glen Cove and Garden City. If that game could somehow reach the level of Jericho and Glen Cove, look out.
And don't let that 7 next to Glen Cove fool you, folks.
No.
1v7, not necessarily what you're going to be watching.
For a while, you thought, too, maybe it was a lucky number 7, because that was the seed for Uniondale as well in the AAA. And what a classic that was as well. We went back-to-back nights, and it was Syosset, as my broadcast partner, apparently Nostradamus, picked the winner there. Cole McGuire scoring the goal for the Syosset side. And they're in the AAA final.
Yeah, very exciting games. You pointed out both the nightcaps, absolutely brilliant. And so far, this one living up to that nightcap excellence.
Yeah, no pressure here, Floral Park and North Shore. But the nightcaps have delivered in a big way.
Double overtime. That was some night, especially for an 8:30 start.
Yeah, we were off air. We signed off at like 11 last night. That was crazy.
Throwing for the Knights, number 6, Sam Emirati.
But it's the most wonderful time of the year for soccer here as we're in the playoffs and have an unseasonably warm evening in October, the day before Halloween.
A little physicality on Devine, 50-50 challenge. That's Pinter fighting through, and he's battling Kroon. Kroon, one of the captains, a junior captain, a ball winner in the middle of the field.
Throwing number 3, James Peterson.
A little size mismatch there as Pinter gets in there with Kroon. Big, strong player.
Speaking of big, strong players, you saw there Layton trying to post up his defender. We'll have another corner, the 4th of this first half for North Shore.
And that's 4-0 right now from the free kicks.
Stay tuned at halftime.
Number 14, Henry Cardozo.
As Cardozo gets set for this kick, Rob Anderson, Al Freeman, Brian Donahue talk about the state of Nassau boys soccer. And Dr. Craig Levitz as well about injuries and prevention in soccer. Ball served in, cleared momentarily. Still loose. That took a deflection off of Pinter. So it'll be a goal kick for
Goal kick number 1.
Dalton.
Oscar Dalton.
.50 ball. It's Pinter sending it back downfield. So this one really kind of, it's box to box. That midfield is, it's kind of like being at an airport and you go down those express lanes, as that one was fired just over the top by Devine. He doesn't need much, does he?
No, not at all. He turned on that quick. You saw those hips turn. And really probably the best quality opportunity that Floral Park had there. And you can see Devine a little frustrated with himself. But at least he got the opportunity. So we got to look at those goal leaders, Dylan.
Yeah, Devine right there among them, right? The 4th leading scorer. And when you combine Devine's ability to score along with Aiden Conlin, who's 2nd in Nassau in assists, that's a pretty good formula to put some balls in the back of the net.
Yeah, you say it, Nasty Ned just getting boot after boot this season. And up there with some very impressive names, including the guy we spoke about earlier, Henry Hernandez, facing off against Marl Watson, 2 top guys in the county.
And Watson we didn't see in the semifinals. How healthy will he be tomorrow night?
Number 1, Oscar Dalton.
Dalton scampers off his line to grab that ball. Sends this one up toward midfield. The reference I was trying to make in terms of the midfield, because they both seem to be looking to bypass it. Get to that in a moment. Amirati plays 1-2 to Devine. Turns, fires. Just over. But it's kind of like, you know, when you're at an airport and you go down those middle lanes, right? And you skip.
Goal kick for North Shore, number 4, Lorenzo Racine.
So Devine.
There wasn't too long ago we said 6-0 shots, and now the attempts coming back the other way. 3 now for Floral Park, and Devine with 2 of them.
Yeah.
He gets some power behind those shots, too.
Here's Peterson. Plays to the feet, looking to turn on his defender. That's a fun battle as well. You've got Michael Cherry defending Layton. He goes out for a throw for North Shore. Cherry, a guy who this year is seeing minutes, and it's because of the work he put in the offseason. Worked hard in the summer and earned his spot as a starting center back alongside Declan Lally. Guess what? Another corner. This is, I believe, the first one from that corner. It's the 5th of this first half for North Shore. And once again, it will be Cardozo.
Henry Cardozo.
And it's interesting here, too, as well. You would think that Racine would be in the mix, as tall as he is. They play this one short. But he's that lone defender right now.
Maybe in part because if that ball gets back to him, he can blast it up pretty quickly.
And there he is, Racine helping stem that attack, but now a foul is called and will stop the clock. Perhaps our first booking of the night.
Yeah, he flew. That leg got out there, and honestly, maybe intentionally slowed everything down. Floral Park was coming down with numbers. And, yep, put it in the books, a yellow card.
So 34th minute.
That card is assessed against the Vikings.
And now a set piece opportunity for Floral Park.
Free kick for the Knights.
Ammirati to take.
By number 6, Sam of Ammirati.
Puts one high, and there's Siegel. He's not the biggest keeper, but he got big there.
He did. He got up, athletic, and another shot there for Floral.
Siegel's first save. Look at this battle yet again. It's Cherry battling Layton, and North Shore now sets up for their 6th corner of the first half. They threw a different wrinkle with their last one, playing it short.
Number 14, Henry Cardozo.
This one, Cardozo sends to the far post. Peterson unable to connect, and it's a throw-in for Floral Park.
You got to wonder if that's either an adjustment. If Cardozo's going to get so much leg behind the ball, maybe just kind of push Lorner out a little further. And then you kind of get like a second corner opportunity on the other side. You could volley it back in and try to get a shot off, but he's, from that side, he's been sailing them long every time.
So we mentioned tomorrow night, Glen Cove and Garden City. And we have a night off on Friday. And we've reset Saturday with the Class B final. Carl Place taking on Cold Spring Harbor. And then a doubleheader on Sunday. The A final and the AAA final.
And that AAA, Syosset and Plainview, like you said, it's going to be some really great soccer heading off in a weekend full. See Divine's wheels, and now he can attack. Divine looks to combine. Ball played across the front of the goal. Took a deflection.
Saved by number 00, Tristan Siegel.
And did Siegel get a piece? I think he did, and we'll have our first corner for Floral Park.
Yeah, that was just deflected out of the reach of Aiden Conlon, number 2, who was attacking the net. Divine, a really nifty pass there.
Oh, kick save.
Kick save, and just past Conlon. Hockey style.
So Floral Park will play this one short. And that one, that connection just off. Service
Goal kick number
was
4,
by
Lorenzo
McCarthy. I think that was Cherry at the back post.
It was, and you probably said you think because he got back there so fast on defense. He did have Daniel Jawad open in the middle, pressing up a little bit, but went for that far post, and not a bad decision.
I mentioned the shots were 6-0 at one point in Floral Park. They've played their way back in with some opportunities.
Throwing for the Knights, number
And they got the
6,
first corner
Sam
kick opportunity, so
Ammirati.
maybe trying to inch their way back in that direction.
Ammirati. There's Dalton. He plays a quick 1-2. Dalton takes a step. Dalton in the box. Saved by Siegel.
Number 00, Tristan Siegel.
And I guess this is why Tommy Cannon predicted Ned Devine might be the one with the goal. He's getting a lot of opportunities now.
First of all, listen, I give you credit for going Cole McGuire last night. I don't know about, you're going to give credit here for.
Oh, that's the Tom Cannon. That's
I'm just saying,
you know.
I'm not, you know, it's one of the leading goal scorers in Nassau County.
It's a layup, but
Come on, Cannon.
give us some real inside information.
Shot from distance. And an easy one there for Dalton.
Saved by number 1, Oscar Dalton.
Kevin and Jack, a big part of this team last year. The Cannon twins.
Like, let me look up and down the roster here. Oh, yeah, wait. Yeah, that guy scored 18 goals this year. I'm going to pick him to score a goal. Stop the clock. We'll have another booking. It's a car crash in midfield, and it goes to Divine in the 39th minute. Look at this one right into your living room. Oh.
Yeah, lowering that shoulder was going to lay up a card, so there you see referee Steve Hansman trying to take control early when those approaches are a little too tough.
So both teams with a yellow in this one. As we're approaching the end of this first half. No score. 50-50 battle. Look at Pinter fired up. He went mano a mano with McCarthy. Mallon sent that one. And it's funny, you look at, again, these North Shore defenders, a lot of times for a football team, like you'll take a kicker, right? You could take like Mallon and make him a defensive end.
Yeah.
He's a big dude. Final minute now of this first half. Statistically, pretty even, and obviously the most important stat, the one on the top left of your screen, 0-0 between Floral Park and North Shore. Ball sent down the field. Remains alive. Mallon will play it. Final 12 seconds, maybe one last chance here for North Shore. Ball intercepted, sent high. Devine chases it down. Peterson heads it, and that'll do it for a first half without a goal, but plenty of excitement. Certainly battled fiercely between these two sides. And at the break, it is third-seeded Floral Park 0 and North Shore 0. Halftime festivities when we return here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Thank you for watching Varsity Media, the leaders in New York high school sports coverage.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so you're here watching the Varsity Media halftime report throughout the playoffs. I'm joined by state representative, the big man, and the color analyst, Al Freeman, and also by Mr. Instagram, the Instagram man, and head coach at Oyster Bay, Brian Donahue. Al, let's start out with you. The playoffs, an exciting time of year. What's Nassau bringing?
NASA's bringing a very competitive set of classification playoffs, Brian and Rob. It's incredible. We've already started, and we've had some upsets in AAA, and today there's going to be some single A games, and I wouldn't bet against anybody winning each individual game today because it's that competitive.
Again, I'm going to piggyback on what Al said. You know, not only have we had an incredibly tight and awesome playoff games, right? We had a couple of OT games already. We've had a PK shootout already, but that is coming off the heels of a very competitive regular season. Out of our 7 conferences, only one of them, which is the AAAs, came down to crowning champions on the last day of the season. And even in the AAAs, this was a conference that was battling out for the number 2 and the number 3 seed on the last day of the season. So, you know, we've gotten Nassau soccer to a point where literally every single one of our leagues is very, very competitive. And there are some top-notch, high-level competitors sitting in these conferences. So as we go through, you know, we look at guys like Miles Watson in Garden City with 24 regular season goals. You know, he's a guy who can dominate a game. And for those of the guys out there who watch my Sunday night podcasts, I've been saying all along, a team like Glen Cove, you can't sleep on someone like Henry Hernandez. And when we saw him play his game last time, he scored 4 goals in a playoff game. to push Glen Cove through. And then someone like AJ Galino for Plainage down in the A's, he's seemingly been a Newsday top 100 player for the last 4 years. I'm looking for someone like him to now go and dominate in a playoff game and now try and push that Plainage through. And then if you look at the Bees, you have Carl Place with their two-headed monster of Leary and Jason Pereira in the midfield. Both of them were all-state players. And, we still haven't figured out a time when a team brought back two all-state players. And Ryan Leary has the possibility of being a 3-time all-state player.
And the best thing about having you, Brian, is that the Instagram has put out a great product, getting Nassau County soccer to all the athletes. Varsity Media also this year doing a huge job with 12 games, 18 different teams, and then the generosity of Orlin and Cohen to make these playoffs free for all the parents and athletes in Nassau County. It's an amazing opportunity, and both of you have been a part of it as far as broadcasters. Just maybe a little quick, Al, your broadcasting experience, any highlights from the games you got to work with?
Well, first of all, I think it starts with the tremendous legwork that's done by both Dylan and John in getting information from the two teams and getting the coaches to open up. The information that they brought in really enhanced the broadcast and made the players and the coaches come alive to the audience.
I like seeing the other side of it, and it's a lot harder than it looks. For everyone out there who wants to think about getting into this side, it's so much harder than it looks. And, for me, I think it's starting to make me a better coach. I get to see a lot more teams than just my team and the few teams in Conference B, going to see all these teams on these other fields and trying to break down their games from now a color analyst perspective. It's putting the whole perspective of coaching in a different light.
For your coverage of the states and the playoffs in general, tell everybody about what they're going to get on Instagram, where they find you, and how they can get in touch.
So you can go to Nassau Soccer on Instagram, and, I'm going to be at all of the games going forward, as many as I can. I can't take half days from work as much as I would love to. We have games, kicking off at 2:00 in these quarterfinals, semifinal games. I'll be at every semifinal and final game going forward. I'll be at every Long Island Championship game going forward. And every one of Nassau County teams that go forward from the Long Island Championship, I'll be going up to the state games. I'll be up there. Send me clips, send me information about your players. And, all we care about on the Nassau Soccer Instagram page is promoting our teams and our players. And it's all about positivity in that community that we're creating there.
And nobody does it better, Bryce. So Nassau County's got a ton of great people working behind the scenes. Al Freeman, one of them. Thanks, Al, Brian. Awesome stuff, folks. You're watching All the Playoffs, sponsored by Orlin and Cohen for free here on the Varsity Media Network. Get ready for the second half and enjoy some playoff soccer.
Hi, I'm Dr. Craig Levitz, and I'm the Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Orlin and Cohen Orthopedics and the Head of Sports Medicine at Northwell Health. With the playoffs coming around, this is the prime time of year for significant shoulder injuries. And the most common injury that we see in soccer players is subluxation of the shoulders. They take a hit or they fall on their shoulder and their shoulder slides out of the socket. And for most of us, we don't think that's a big deal because it just feels like a little nothing when it happens. You feel good afterwards and you're right back out there. But often when that happens, you can tear your labrum. And those are the ligaments that stabilize the shoulder. And with repetitive subluxations or dislocations or repetitive trauma to the shoulder, it can lead to surgery. So it's very important to address this when it happens and make sure you're not going right back out there before understanding the injury, because it can feel okay, obviously, until you get hit there again, until it falls again, and then you start doing permanent damage. It's very rare an initial injury does permanent damage. It's only when you continue to play through it and neglect it that the permanent damage occurs, and that almost always leads to surgical intervention to repair the ligaments. The best way to diagnose it or know is your history itself. Most athletes know when their shoulder slid and they just don't know what that was. They don't know what happened or what it was, but that is a strong situation to make sure you bring to the attention of your athletic trainer and definitely get checked out by an orthopedic surgeon. Unlike when I was a kid, we have MRIs readily available, and the best way to determine if you can play the next day or right away is to get an MRI right away. You know, it's very easy for a doctor to say, oh, you know, take 4 weeks off and let's see how you do and get you back out there. The problem is that's half the season in high school. So we treat our high school athletes like professional athletes and try to get an MRI within 24 to 48 hours of their injury. So if it's nothing significant, they can get into therapy and be back playing by the weekend. You know, we take pride in getting our athletes back as soon as it's possible and as when it's safe as possible. And the best way to do that is with early intervention, early examination by a physician, athletic training team, and getting an MRI as soon as possible to ascertain the exact diagnosis. Unfortunately, with repetitive dislocations, it does require surgery. Fortunately, most of the time athletes can finish the year out, but we don't want this to become a lifelong problem and highly recommend surgery after the seasons. But in today's technology, it's all done through the camera, and I'd say 98% of our patients are back at the same level they were before in a few short months back to playing. The only thing that might be a little bit difficult would be a throw-in in the first couple of months, but generally soccer as a whole is well tolerated and a quick recovery. The only problem is when we neglect these injuries, small, simple injuries that could have been handled with a good rehab program and physical therapy turn into surgical problems and permanent damage to the ligaments and bones that now require more extensive surgeries. And that's what we want to do with early intervention, is avoid those issues.
Welcome back to Jericho High School. That's Ronnie P.
The freak.
He's the chef.
Oh.
Hey, there's Chris Sweeney. Not really a photo bomb, video bomb, I guess. And there's Kevin down there. That's like pretty much our whole crew. Halftime here, no score between Floral Park and North Shore. We've seen a multitude of 50-50 challenges, balls in the air, high energy, high effort. But in the 18s, neither team able to find that difference right now as we take a look at some of the crowd here. Some of the North Shore fans making the trip. First half stats as the teams make their way back onto the field. That shot stat at one point was 6-0 for North Shore.
Yeah, Dylan, you said it. I mean, the most important one, as you said earlier, is 0-0. Now it's 8-6 in shots, 4-2 in saves. There's the tilt. That's what the coaches are going to talk about on the sideline. Other than saying, good boy, good job, the adjustment's got to be on the corner kicks. Right now, it's got to be a little tightened up by North Shore, try to shorten up the length of the ball or place somebody deep. And for Floral Park, Akil Rodney's message is simple. Stop giving them up. But otherwise, it's tight, really tight on the stat sheet.
So who will get the breakthrough goal? Floral Park in white. And North Shore in maroon.
Welcome back to the second half of this game. This is a reminder that the winner of this game
there again.
will move on to play.
A chase for the ball, and that's cleared out, and here comes the Floral Park corner, their second of the night.
November 3rd at 4 p.m. at Farmingdale State College.
And Devine making his way over, perhaps here to make it short, or maybe just to have a conversation as he trots back out. You see there following him, Pinter. And Maradi to take. Served in and took it a couple of deflections, Rob, and goes out of bounds.
Yeah, that one played in a great spot. They played the one prior short and decide to put some numbers in the box there and just bounce through everybody.
And you can hear right in front of us the North Shore fan base with the Let's Go Vikings chants. And another corner. Maybe it's this side of the field because there were 6 corners on this side for North Shore, and already within the first couple of minutes of this one, 2 for Floral Park.
Number 6, Sam.
Like I said, Dylan, it was the only tilt on the stat sheet, so it's only right that Floral Park tries to even that out now.
Keep an eye out for Devine. He's at the, you can see them there at number 10. Does he make a run toward Amirati? Back post, and there's the goal! What a finish at the back stick. And Floral Park, they take the 1-0 lead. Michael Donovan, the goal.
We'll get another look. Check out this service. It's in a perfect spot. You've got the fake. It goes long. And Donovan, first time we say his name, and the knight in shining armor to start this thing off, puts it in the back of the net. It's 1-0 Floral Park, and they came out buzzing. Adjustments felt.
Full volley, back post. That's how you score a goal in a semifinal. For Donovan, goal number 6 on the season, and what a moment it was for him.
And it was a corner kick that decided the game prior. And here, the opening salvo, the Knights strike first off a corner kick. Again, Michael Donovan.
That was also the same net that Ben Perez scored for Lawrence. Something about that scoreboard side goal, perhaps. So North Shore, only the 10th goal they've conceded all year.
Throwing for the Knights.
Ball played back to Siegel. Takes it first time, off the head though, and out of bounds. That was McCarthy. McCarthy for Floral Park, one of the guys who needed to step up into a bigger role this year, and he's done well. What a great turn by Cardoza. But then a needed clearance by Bueno, and now it's a corner for North Shore. They were unable to capitalize on any of their first 6.
For the Vikings, number 14, Henry Cardoza.
And it's Cardozo again to take for the Vikings. Serves it in, headed up by Layton. Still in the mix. Mallon puts it back in and it's cleared out to midfield. A miss hit by Racine, but recovers well. And there's the punt by Siegel. Good diagonal ball. And this will go out for another Floral Park corner. Full credit there to McCarthy
Corner kick for
on a
the
gorgeous
Knights.
ball
Number 6, Sam Amirati.
across the field.
Yeah, good vision there, as good as it gets, and creates another scoring opportunity down low.
They'll play it short this time. Still alive, sends across. Saved by Siegel.
Number 00, Tristan Siegel with the save.
Here's Bueno. A guy who has shown up to work every day. He impresses Rodney with his talent. Second ball turning was Donovan. And now they're combining. Donovan can't run onto that one. It was laid off to him. He sent to the turf. Another miss hit. A little bit frenetic right now.
was Caden Smith on that big check to Donovan, the goal scorer.
Mallon heads it down for himself. Bueno, no nonsense to midfield. You could hear the request from the crowd of settle it. I don't know if either team has settled it from the opening whistle.
No, and this is exactly what we were going to expect out of this team. We have an injury in the center of the field and a stoppage of the clock, which means that the trainer is going to come onto the field. And Dylan, this pace is absolutely what everybody predicted from this game, what the coaches knew about this game, that it was going to be fast-paced, physical, and they have delivered so far.
What will the pace of this one be like?
That's going to be a frenetic Glen Cove team and a Garden City team that's looking to build and
be patient.
Absolutely.
Right.
Technical.
Yep. And Glen Cove got a little bit of a taste of that with Jericho, who wanted to play that way. So, I know you're a big boxing fan, and styles make fights, and that's what we're going to have with Glen Cove and Garden City yet again back in the final. That'll be tomorrow night here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
The thriller on Halloween. That not in Manila.
Well, off of what is that, Melville Road?
Yeah. So we saw a lot of cramping last night in that Uniondale game. Is that kind of what we got going on here? Is it a foot injury?
No, I think it's more, I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night, but I think that more injury than cramping. And Daniel Jawad, the senior.
Throwing for the Knights, number 3, Diego Bueno.
Get that ball.
Ball played the feet. Interception. Here comes North Shore trying to look for options. Good job just to get out of trouble there. That was Ricciuti. And this is a shot from distance. Pinter.
And I guess Dalton had a heck of a read on it. He didn't budge. Everybody else did. The crowd didn't. But he kind of just stood there and watched it sail. So
Pinter scored an incredible goal against Bethpage. He only did so in back-to-back games now. Mallon, the clearance to midfield. Now can North Shore try to combine? That's Lawner. Sends it up and just missed that connection. As you see, Leighton a little bit frustrated on that.
they're doing a better job handling him back there, paying a lot more attention. They know that he's dynamic, and all the defenders picking him up in different ways. If somebody loses him, somebody else is there to pick him up. So wisely targeting probably one of the best players in the conference, let alone the team.
Long ball over the back. That goes to Racine. And Racine going to box out the attacking player for Floral Park, and he does, to earn the goal kick, which he will take himself. First header won, second ball won by Floral Park. Hard challenge, stop the clock. We'll have another booking. There was no question about that one. It's like James Peterson I believe. Or no. And that goes to Racine. So Lorenzo Racine gets the yellow card.
And you could bet right now, Floral Park wants to keep possession and keep him on the sidelines as long as possible. Divine with a yellow hanging over his head. Now Racine, one hanging over his head. Not going to change the way either one of these guys play, but part of the game now.
So free kick for Floral Park. And that's the guy you want over the ball, Ned Divine. Clips it in, headed clear. It's so difficult, and we've seen it in multiple games, right, Rob? Like, you want to get it past that first defender just to give your guys a chance. Speaking of a chance, here come the Vikings looking to counter. And good defense. Good step up there by Declan Lally. A year ago played at Archbishop Malloy in Queens. Good basketball player as well, Lally. Oh, that's one that Leighton wants back. You don't always need to power the ball into the net. You can place it. And that was one where if Leighton would have maybe found the back of the net, he might have ripped it in half. He hit it so hard.
That goal kick does give Racine an opportunity to re-enter the game, which he just did as he was anxiously awaiting on the sidelines, missing that first opportunity on the throw. But everybody at 100% now.
And that attempted service also just off the mark. That was Caden Smith, the junior.
Goal kick for the Knights, number 1, Oscar Dalton.
Mallon sends it across the field and out. It'll be a Floral Park throw. Has been a cagey affair, this one.
Throwing for the Knights.
And you can see the players, especially in this one, looking to take some of that moisture off the ball. It's a humid night here at Jericho High School. Unseasonably warm today and tomorrow as well. We're going to be in the 70s.
And when you get that heavy air, you know we had some cold and rain last night, but when you get that heavy air, you're reminded that you live on an island. And up here on the North Shore, it's getting a little dense.
Foul at midfield allows North Shore to push their numbers forward. Again, the Vikings unbeaten in 14. We'll stop the clock again as it's like a cleat was dislodged on that foul. See across the way, Akil Rodney imploring his guys defensively.
I took a look over there to see if he was going to chirp about the stoppage of the clock, but hands on hips, pensive.
And I like the look too. He's going full like MLS kind of coach, where he's got the scarf around the neck. Ball takes some deflections around.
Or Hogwarts.
I think Akil would probably prefer the MLS reference.
Oh, yeah, he would certainly just be like, what are you saying, English teacher? But would fit in either place. Bright, young coach.
Always good to see too, right? When a player like Rodney did what he did in his high school career and his college career, now coming back and using his experience both in high school and the next level. As Layton sends it across the box, unable to connect, and now Floral Park will try a quick counter. But now he's giving back to the next group of young players. Bichet trying to change the culture and make it a winning one at Floral Park, one of hard work and intensity.
And he's talking about it all year long. Winter, summer, he's getting work done. His athletic director, Larry Dorson, saying, you know, this guy's been priceless for their community and their team. And both teams creating this culture of just intense, hard-working soccer. And it's Coach Michael Bishop on the other side.
What that vantage point there of Thomas Mallon.
You see how wide his shoulders are.
Yeah, he fit that whole screen.
Throwing for the Vikings.
And there's North Shore head coach Michael Bishop. Mallon again. How about 3 for $1?
Throwing for the Vikings. Number 25, Thomas Mallon.
We'll go back again to Mallon. He has gained field position, that is for sure. And that ball just ends up the field. That's where Racine awaits. Oh, took a heavy first touch, recovers well. Now he's pressured. And there's the turnover. Little step over. Good stuff there by McCarthy. Draws the foul.
Yeah, those were some dance moves that he put on there, Connor McCarthy, as Griffin Pinter said, if I can't stop you one way, I'll stop you another. And it sets up a free opportunity here for the Knights.
Yeah, McCarthy was under pressure, but there was no panic at the disco. He was in full control of that one.
By number 6, Sam Amirati.
Amirati, good ball, far post, headed and cleared by North Shore. But the danger not quite averted. It's now far post. Slide tackle back out to midfield. Kroon keeps it alive. Now a little 1-2 into the box. The service! And that ball took a deflection. Full credit to Kyle Sy there. Number 12, seniors come off the bench with 4 goals this year. Rodney says he possesses the Floral Park DNA in terms of being tough, hardworking, selfless, willing to step into any role for his team. Corner for the Knights.
Corner kick for the Knights, number 6, Sam Amirati.
And it's Amirati. Chasing down the second ball, Conlon. There he is. One of the top setup men in Nassau County. 15 assists on the year for Conlon. Miss hit. Look out. And whether that was intentional or not, what a great job by Bueno. Just a step in front of the Mack truck. That was Lino Layton.
Yeah, if he was attempting a shield or whatever the intention was, the play was Bueno. Good job.
The decision was Bueno.
Yes. And he's had a high IQ. He's got a team full of players that understand the game. Gritty, but understand what they need to do out there.
The lone goal scored was early in the second half. Michael Donovan, that full volley at the back post.
Another throw in for Amirati.
Still a lot of soccer to be played, Rob, but you could potentially have 2 teams book their spot into the final off of goals via corner kicks.
Throw in for the Vikings.
And I'm not sure what the analytics would be, but you do wonder, right? How many, what percentage of postseason goals are scored off of set pieces?
Throwing for the Vikings, number 3, James.
Dylan, both teams losing to Lawrence last year on their road to the playoffs. So no matter what, there's a grudge match in the making.
Well, we mentioned North Shore, right? They're 10-0-4. 2 of those 4 draws came against Lawrence. 2-2 at home for North Shore back on September 7th. And then 1-1 down at Lawrence. And Floral Park, they've not been on the same field with Lawrence since last year's.
This summer. They have part of the South Shore Summer League. It's different because you have different guys. That's the last time that Gerard and at least Akil were on the field together. But the last time it was meaningful for sure.
Cardozo looks to turn. Bueno held him up initially. Now it's Layton. Layton reverses course. There seems to be 2 Floral Park players for every attacking player for North Shore, as that shot by Layton is wide.
Does show you how good Layton is. He can get the ball off even though he's under pressure. 3 guys building a little triangle around him and still gets that shot off.
Mallon flies in for that second ball. There he is. He'll win it. Now here comes Pinter. A little push, a little shove. And it goes against Pinter.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. Oh, my goodness. And that is not the Rodney way. He's going to be furious.
A booking for Kyle Sy there, and we see it again. Listen, it was a hard battle, right? And that pullback right there, that's the foul. But then the little clap in the face and the taunt, that's not.
Number 3, Diego Bueno.
That's not good.
Those are the ones that drive you crazy, We saw it last night. Pultz with a goal for Sayas. Takes off his shirt. Some chirping at the referees, and you can't have those against the players that are so important.
Well, and Zavala got his first yellow for Uniondale for dissent.
Right.
And then ended up getting a second and being sent off.
Valley got one for dissent. It was emotions run high, but there's certain no-nos in the game. And the public displays and the language are 2 of the big no-nos. And that referee in the game last night, Pete Shank, is the other that'll be joining Denisian Hansman in the States, representing the Nassau County referees.
Hansman stops the clock with a potential head injury as Cardozo went down. Back up, gets a good round of applause from the crowd. We're about midway through this second half. Battle 1. Second battle goes the other way. How about this battle? How about that one? And now we'll get a yellow card against Floral Park as the temperature starts to rise. Brady Kroon in the book. Yeah, clip of the heels. There it is.
Lorenzo.
And now Racine sets up for the free kick. Sends it high into the air. Chasing it down is Mallon. Oh, showed some skills there, the big man, with the back heel. Towards the goal, having to slide out. And scampering back to his line was Dalton. And now Dalton gets it off the bounce.
So now 2 yellow cards for the Knights, and I was speaking to one of Coach Rodney's good friends, Josh Berlin, the head coach at Limbrook, and he said that they had 3 cards on the year.
You have 3 in this game because Devine got one in the first half.
Right, Devine. Yes, right, 3 in the game.
We are now halfway through the second half.
So matching their season total in 1 game. And that shows you what North Shore brings out of them, to be quite honest with you, because they attack with equal intensity. And the stakes a lot higher here at this stage of the game, but all those yellows just floating over the heads. And coaches have to make decisions because we have seen Reds create mismatches. Mineola game, Uniondale game. So you don't want one because it affects today and tomorrow.
Picked by number 6, Sam Amorati.
Amorati just sends it right toward Siegel. Took a bump.
And that is picked up by number 00, Tristan Siegel.
Sends it out to midfield. There has been, and it's not just this half, right? There's been no rhythm at all to this game. This is all high octane, high energy. It's like a combination of, I don't know, like a couple of Monster energy drinks and like.
Free kick by number 3, Diego Bueno.
You got to wonder what Coach Lagasse's thinking, right?
I mean, it's not the beautiful game. It's right now. It's the hard game being played. And it's a tough one to officiate for handsmen. He's what, giving out 4 total cards, right? 3 and 1.
3 and 1, and I believe it was number 20. Emil Samuels, who got the first one there for the only one for North Shore.
A driven free kick. Recovered. Back out to midfield. Ball just sent into the mix. Siegel, no problem.
Aren't Knights supposed to be a little more refined than Vikings? It's not going that way.
Ooh, really a dangerous kick. Here comes Pinter.
Nice decision there by Connor McCarthy. Could have played the ball up the field, but saw that his team was getting pressed a little bit, create a little time, little space. Smart decision there by McCarthy to let it roll out.
He's a guy who's really talented. We mentioned that Hoda team before. Get to that in a second as a chance here for North Shore. Ball goes in front, set up, left-footed shot. And the first one to really truly test. Well, no, Siegel had to make a kick save, or Dalton makes the save there.
And right after I said good decision, a tough touch to get it back to Bueno. That was completely broken up. Instead of going long on the field, tried to play it back, and too many numbers for North Shore to play that game.
Connor McCarthy to Floral Park. Get to him in a moment as Racine sets up this free kick. High into the air, bounces off a couple of heads and cleared. Racine takes a touch. Another. Loses it for a throw-in.
Throw in by number 6, Sam Amorati.
Amorati to do so from that far side. McCarthy, there he is again, battling, turned. Good skills. Keeps it alive. Now McCarthy makes a run to the back post, looking for this ball. McCarthy! Offside flag is up.
But almost a replica of the way the ball went in the first time, charging that far post and just throwing your body at it.
Connor McCarthy scored a goal against Plain Edge. That's a good look at him. He, along with Aiden Conlon, also part of that New York HOTA squad that competed in nationals down in Orlando. All over the top. Cardozo runs onto it. Cardozo, side netting. It took a deflection. It'll be a corner kick for North Shore.
Dalton's style is like a possum. Like if he knows the ball's like going wide, going high, and he just freezes.
I'm not a fan of opossums. They scare the hell out of me, those things.
They're kind of scary.
Ball headed, still alive. That was Pinter. Now a chance for a counter. That's the guy you want. Ball on his feet. Devine looks to be a playmaker here. What a challenge. A pair of fours fly and roll to the field. Donovan for Floral Park, your goal scorer, and Racine. Racine appears to be the worse for wear. Can you go harder into a challenge than these two guys did? Watch this again.
Beautiful touch, and it was Racine initiating it, and they just look like they hit shins. No trainer on the field, but Racine limping as he comes back into play. Very uncomfortable, but staying on the field, as Vikings do.
Substitution on the field for the Knights.
And Racine sends it down the field. Second ball. Little back heel by Cardozo. Chested down by Layton. Tried to take a touch, but Kroon intercepted it. Off his line is Siegel to grab the ball. Sends it high into the sky. I wonder what the numbers are if either of these two keepers have ever rolled it out to their defender. Both are looking for those high, like, football punts.
And they know they got guys on the other end of it in the number 10s, Devine and Layton, that can get it. Devine's starting to find a lot more space as North Shore's looking to maybe push up a little bit more. Hasn't taken the shot, decide to dish it off.
And that shot also from distance. And a stoppage, and I think we have some cramping now. Busy few days for us here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Kind of been camping out at Farmingdale State College. This was the first time that we left campus in days.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a resident now.
Yeah. And we're back there tomorrow, Glen Cove and Garden City. That for the AA championship. On Saturday, it'll be the Class B final, Cold Spring Harbor and Carl Place. Before that, we'll have a Catholic High School Football League showdown between St. Peter's from Staten Island and St. John the Baptist.
Goal kick by number 1.
And on Marathon Sunday, how about two more games for you? As we'll have this final, the A final, Lawrence against to be determined. And the AAA final as well. Syosset in Plainview, JFK. Two technical teams. Here's Mallon. Finds Pinter's head. And here's Layton. And you know, not that you had questioned it, but you know, not only did Rodney do his homework, but certainly relayed that message to his guys, because every time Layton gets a touch, he is surrounded by Knights.
Yeah, they circle the wagons really quickly. They know how dangerous he is. So does his head coach. And so far, so good as he's been contained. And what a different look than the first game, right? We saw a game where there were practically no fouls, technical, nobody was offside. Here it's corner kick, fiesta. Tough battle, shoulder to shoulder.
Corner kick.
Corner kick for the Knights, number 6
for Amirati.
Amirati.
Driven across the goal. Far post and a save by Siegel. Quick outlet as Pinter. Looking to hit him on a quick counter. What a ball by Pinter. Good read, though, by Dalton as Pinter trying to find Layton. I think if he angled that ball a little bit more, maybe right onto Layton's feet.
Yeah, Dalton read it, and it was a little slippery for him, but he managed to get it. And you said earlier about that moisture on the ball for the throw-ins. You wonder if it's going to affect the keepers, even though they've got those gloves on.
Inside the final 10 minutes of this one. Throw in for Floral Park.
And they killed 30 seconds in between that ball going out.
Charlie McCarron to do so.
Number 9, Charlie McCarron.
Flicked on at the near post, out for a goal kick. That's one thing that I think Floral Park has done well, is that first header usually flicked on, trying to set something up, set something else up. Ricciuti. Another throw in. Here's Mallon.
Another throw in for the Vikings, number 25, Thomas Mallon.
50-50 ball. How about another one? And another. This is what this game has been all about.
Right there, looking like seals in a circus.
Throwing for North Shore, number 25, Thomas Mallon.
Mallon trying to find Layton. And again, not a lot of real estate for Lino Layton, is there?
Gotta be better touches. Let's go.
That's a great touch. And then a little bit too much for John Lawner. And with so little space to maneuver, you would have thought that first touch would have set up Lawner well, right?
They've sailed a few wide so far. Maybe it's something about that side of the field that's tilted. But it's been difficult for them to get those shots on net on this second half so far. They still maintain pressure. They're starting to push more numbers up too, Dylan, which is going to create more space for Floral Park, but they're starting to go a little heavier up top.
Ball into that left channel. A heavy first touch. Siegel will just let it roll out for a goal kick.
Goal kick for the Vikings, number 4, Lorenzo Racine.
Racine sends the midfield. Hard challenge there, and it appears the way that Floral Park is playing, they're just content to just send the ball down and put their numbers behind the ball. Here's Layton, challenging, looking for the ball. It first was won by Mallon, and it will go out for a throw, a deep throw right by that corner flag.
Throwing for the
An
Vikings.
excellent defensive challenge and decision by Cherry there.
And as quickly as they had that opportunity, they gave it up.
Free kick for the Knights, number 1, Oscar Dalton.
Dalton sends it up that far sideline. He's got to scamper back in his net, though, as the North Shore fans rise up, hoping for some more brilliance from Lino Layton.
Appreciate that they got out of trouble, but Layton taking it that far away with a guy like Racine's leg, playing with fire.
Is there another goal in this one? Mallon boots it up the field. Cardozo over his head. Ryan Kenny pushed it ahead. That's a left-footed shot that sends Siegel scampering across the goal.
Left in the second half.
And we're at the 5-minute mark. Rules-wise, if Floral Parks make any substitutions from here on out, because they're in the lead, it'll stop the clock. North Shore can sub at will.
Mallon. To throw.
For number 25, Thomas Mallon.
Second ball. And a foul called against North Shore. Oh, no, it was a correction. And that's a good call, because it did look like it was Caden Smith who was fouled. Now he's cramping up, so the clock stops with 4:18 left. But on that 50-50 challenge, yeah, he was the one who was fouled. Did you see it again? On the second ball, right from the side there, the follow through. So what an opportunity now this is, right, for North Shore. Cardozo, who takes their corner kicks, is the one who will play this one.
Referee Sadler looking at me, what are you doing over here?
Free kick for the Vikings, number 14, Henry Cardozo.
Cardozo sends it high into the sky. Mallon was at the back post, but it just harmlessly goes through that maze of bodies and out for a goal kick.
And Floral Park in no rush right now as the numbers push up.
Oscar Dalton.
Siegel boots it down. North Shore, they've won 2 county titles, but the last one back in 1979, that was in the Class B. Before that, before they had classification, that was 1962 for North Shore's first championship. Only 1 title for Floral Park, that of more recent history. Ball played across, nobody there to pick it up. And would have won that one was as well for Floral Park as the ball is cleared. The Knights back in 2015, they beat Jericho 3-2. Jonathan Ferrone, 3 headed goals. And that was before a 1-0 loss to Amityville in the LIC. Good interception by Racine. Slide tackle the other way.
That was Connor McCarthy on that slide tackle, and he was pretty excited about it when he got up. Good ball.
And you can see on the opposite side, the stand's not as big here on the visitor side, right? So you've got fans lined up along the fence right behind the Floral Park bench there.
They called stands for a reason on that side. Everybody on their feet watching the clock as we're approaching 2 minutes.
Run along the end line, Siegel picks it up. You'll know that he'll quickly roll it out. Here comes Pinter, lost a shin guard, and now they lose possession. And that's where you want to go if you're Floral Park, to that corner flag.
Substitution on the field for the Knights.
So 1:47 remains.
Coach Rodney making the substitution. It'll stop the clock. And he's going to push numbers back on this throw-in. 5 guys defending at the 50.
Will that man get a chance? Lino Layton. Will Akil Rodney coach his guys past this round after last year's heartbreak? Chested down, good recovery, because that would have been out for a corner. So Siegel gives his side an opportunity. Cardozo traces after it, sent back high into the sky. 90 seconds left in regulation. Floral Park trying to ice this one. Ball across the face of goal, sliding at it. Siegel continues his run, keeps it alive, plays it. He was a former field player. And Dalton is like, I see you. I'm going to come out of my net as well. A minute left.
1 minute left in the second half.
Can North Shore equalize? Here's Mallon in the midfield, sends it on the ground. Returned back the other way, 37 seconds remaining. A high cross, Cardozo looking for it, punched away by Dalton. All hands on deck now, stop the clock, says Steve Hansman. Is an injured, at least there was momentarily, an injured Floral Park player. What the stoppage does is allow North Shore to get their numbers forward. And look at Siegel saying, join me in the scene. Here we go. The keeper up. There are no defenders behind the play. 21 seconds left. It's in the mix. Siegel slides at it and is cleared out to midfield. 14 seconds remaining. Pinter, he's got to get this ball into the mix. Pinter punts it upfield. Headed. Final shot will go wide of the net as time expires. A year after a heartbreaking loss in the Nassau semifinals.
Congratulations to the
Floral Park.
Knights. They will move on to play the
They exercise those demons, and they're into the final against Lawrence. Watch this reaction. Akil Rodney. He still got his ups.
And there he is walking off, the winning coach, clapping it up to the fans. And Dylan, both Lawrence and Floral Park, the decisive blow off a corner kick, 1-0 in both situations. And the Knights are going to face off against those Golden Tornadoes.
Michael Donovan is your goal scorer. And this one, you could tell by some of those guys, this one has taken a toll. A physical, hard-fought game. But they'll take those bruises for the chance to play for a second county title in school history. So Floral Park, they advance. They're now 12-3-1. North Shore, just like Floral Park did a year ago, they suffer their lone loss of the year in the semifinals. It has been an outstanding season for those Vikings. And you can see the hugs and the consoling going on. That's a tough pill to swallow for North Shore. When you go into the playoffs undefeated, you know if you do suffer a loss, your first is also your last. And that's a tough bus ride back to North Shore High School tonight. But for Floral Park, they are in the final. It's a rematch of last year's county semifinal. There you see it again. And that one was won by Lawrence. So more motivation for Akeel Rodney and his guys. But it should be an outstanding final back at Farmingdale State. That'll do it here for us on a fun night here at Jericho High School for our entire Varsity Media crew. Mr. Jericho himself, Ben Turchin, our executive producer, our technical director, Chris Sweeney, for Kevin Catalanato and Ron Pierre, my broadcast partner, Rob Anderson, Dylan Butler, thanking you for joining us from Jericho High School. We look forward to seeing you next time right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.